Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to talk about a new video game console. Yeah, apparently companies still want to try to get into the business and compete. So let's look into it. Yeah, new video game console, but has a little bit of a twist. They want it to be a VR video game console. They want to call it Madbox from Mad Studios, the same company that made Need for Speed Shift and Project Racing. They're looking to do a 4K VR machine that's a console, like what we think of the PS4 and Xbox One, and they want it to be open source. Not open source, but they want anyone to be able to develop for it. They want competition, and they want to bring in old VR and new VR equipment all to be able to plug into it and work. I have no idea what that means. Yeah. He just wants to add more competition to the video game industry, and they're saying it's as powerful as a high-end PC will be in 2 years. They're looking to release it in 3 years. They got investors, and it sounds like they really want to do this. Now, could this just be a PR plan just to get people to talk about their company? Maybe. But that would be cool. An actual game console dedicated strictly for VR. That might be a problem, but it would be cool. Now, if they say you can hook up your VR to it, does that mean, will my PSVR be able to plug into it? Will the Vive be able to hook up to it? The Oculus Rift be able to hook up to it? That's what it sounds like. Which would be cool. And then any VR game you can play on it, old or new, can hook up to it. Now to me that sounds like they're just making a PC inside a box and calling it a console. Which I guess kind of PS4 and Xbox One is similar to that. Which, if that's the case, that's fine as long as, it's like a console. You put the game in, the game plays. You download the game plays. I don't need to get special drivers or anything. Everything's built into it. Which would be nice for VR, because then, you buy the game, anything you hook up to it will play. It sounds like there could be a lot of logistic problems, but they say they want a machine that can pump out 120 FPS, 4K visuals on VR. I'm down. It's probably going to cost same to what the PS5 and Xbox 2 is going to cost. Now, can a third console at that price range really compete? That's where things will probably get interesting. If they're not looking to come out for 3 years, maybe that means they get released after the PS5 and the Xbox 2, and they'll know how to market it in a way to get people to want to jump over. And by then, you've already spent your money on the other consoles, and you have the free cash. It's not like you're coming out with at the same time, hopefully, and you're like, oh, should I get a PS5 or should I get the Madbox? That could be difficult because you're probably going to go with the company makes a great console, not the company that, you've never seen a console out of before. So they're going to have to market it well. And because it's VR, it may only be a niche crowd at first. But, maybe as the console comes out, it sells, it lowers in prices. Will it come with its own VR headset, or do you need to plug in your VR headset? Maybe that's how they save their money, because they're going to assume you have a VR headset of some sort. Who knows? They said in a couple weeks, we'll get some more information about what it's going to look like and stuff like that. They're going to be given a free engine for developer kits and everything, so that way people can develop games for it. They don't have any exclusivity games or anything like that. It's just they want it to work with VR. Okay, I'm cool with that. The only thing I see, though, is by then, the PS5 might have its own VR, just like the PS4 does with the PSVR. The PS5 may be backwards compatible with PSVR, and by then have a good foothold on VR games, and maybe a competitor to the Madbox and knock them right out because, more people have a PS5 plus an old PSVR will probably work on it, or an updated version of the PSVR, which will probably make it a better technology choice and better game selection. And who knows, Microsoft may even come out with the Xbox 2 with a VR headset as well. So they could be in trouble, especially now that they're announcing the whole VR box, the Mad Box. That might make Microsoft or PlayStation be like, all right, let's make sure ours has the VR, and there would be no use to buying another company. Yeah, it's a risk, but at the same time, to make money, you need to take risks. So that's what they're going to be doing to get into a new business. I think it's just fun. It's just fun knowing that there's another console out there that could possibly come out. Will it actually be released? Who knows? 3 years is a long time, and things change quickly. Could be that PlayStation 5 does announce a VR headset, Xbox does too, and Madbox is like, maybe we don't have a spot. Or they do come out and it bombs, and then there's a cool little niche console that, plays VR games that no one develops for. Hopefully, because they say they play old VR games too, you just have to get the PC version of the game, download it onto a hard drive, and it plays on the console. That would make it the most compatible, because then you could just keep the console and have it as a computer as well. So it could entice people to go that route, because it's like, even if it does fail, it still has all the stores online to download games. But it didn't work for the Steam box, didn't work for any of the Steam boxes of the other companies that would release them. So, yeah, it's going to be hard. But new consoles, new things to talk about, and new things to get excited for. So, you know what? Microsoft was able to do it. I mean, granted, this company's not as big as Microsoft, but they were able to jump in, made a console. It provided power people wanted. Maybe the Madbox, because it can handle 4K, VR, 120, as long as that's what they're going to actually be able to get, is probably going to be an ultra powerful console. So, if it's as powerful as the other consoles and people make games for it, then buy it. Because they may not have exclusive games, as they say. They do have an exclusive feature, maybe, is that all VR games that have been made up to that point will work on it, which means that it's made to run VR games. So if it runs VR games better than the other competitor, their exclusive games are the VR games. So that'd be awesome. But it should be able to handle, third-party games that PS5 will be able to handle, and the Xbox 2, because you're going to want to play more than just VR games on it. How many VR games you're going to buy for a console if that's all the console does? So hopefully that means it does 4K, well over 120 frames. Alright guys, so I had to butt into this video real quick. So, as I'm editing this video, more news about the Madbox pops up. So now we actually have a picture of it, right here. And they've updated the specs a little bit. But first, let's look at this picture. Yeah, can you say Mad Hatter? Because it looks like that's who designed this. It looks like a PC, like I figured. If anything, it's probably going to be more of a PC than a console itself. Yeah, it's a weird design. Yeah. The problem is it takes up too much room. How am I supposed to put it with all my other consoles? They're saying, oh, you should celebrate your console. That's why we did this design. But, yeah, that's too much celebration. It's 3.5 years away, supposedly. That's what they say in the tweet as well. So, I mean, that design will probably change before it even comes out. It kind of reminds me of when Xbox announced their Xbox console, how it looked more like an X than like a box. Yeah. So, yeah, that's what more looks like. It's kind of cool looking, but I wouldn't want that by my television. As a PC case, that does look kind of cool. And I think it's more PC than anything. As long as it's, closed source, it's just like a console where you just put the game in, the disc, it runs, it plays, then I'm happy, and that's all I need. Now, they have updated the specs a little bit, and saying that It's they're looking for 180 FPS VR, 90 per eye. If that's what they're going for, cool. I still think that this is probably not going to happen. If it does, it's going to be very niche and probably out of the price range of the PS4 and PS5 and Xbox 2. If they can get it around the same price and actually deliver VR at that kind of specs with the ease of buying the console, cool. The downfall is people that already own VR, which they say, you can hook up your old VR stuff to it, already probably have a PC powerful enough to run the games. Are they going to want to upgrade to this? So it's like, I don't know. I don't know who this is for. If I could plug in my PS VR to it and play games on it that are more powerful or just aren't available in the PS4, that'd be kind of cool, but worth $500 more. I'd probably just go to the PS4 or the PS5 and hope they have VR as well. So, a lot can change in 3 years. Maybe something comes out where VR glasses get a lot less pricier and it's worth buying a console like this that can play VR without any heavy setup, but it's powerful enough as a high-end computer, or a high-end console anyways. So yeah, I'm not really sure what they're going with. It'll be cool to find out, and I hope all the news that comes out, it actually does come out, and everything we talk about will be cool to talk about. I hope it doesn't get to the point where, it's never coming out, and all this excitement about a new console in the making to compete with Sony and Microsoft and maybe stir up the waters a little bit is just, nothing, thin air. So yeah, let's see what happens in the next year. Probably by next year we'll have if the console's going to come out next year, we'll probably be even more likely to know. Yeah. All right, guys. So yeah, let me know what your thought is on the Mad Box. Have a good night. Catch you later, and keep on gaming.